Toby.
Welcome back to the N.y.a show. Let me take a moment to zone in with the people. Hope the weekend was well for you guys. Saturday, I started my weekend out and went and fed. I went and helped with an organization, Theanthropy. Went and fed the homeless downtown at Hurt Park, and we gave out other essentials to the people that were in the area. It was a beautiful day out there in Atlanta, Georgia State campus. I then took my family to walk the old stomping grounds of Georgia State because I used to go to Georgia State. So a lot of stuff has changed just in a couple of years that it's been since I was there. So that was one thing. Then there was a big prayer circle that was going on in the middle of by the water, the waterfall at Hurt Park down there in Atlanta. But you guys, if people been here and you visit Atlanta, you probably seen Hurt Park, but it's a big community of people that are less fortunate that were doing to feed the homeless out there, giving away certain things. So that was awesome. Came back and spent mostly the rest of my afternoon. I want to see my father and some more family members. I went and did that for the second half of the day, and then of course, baby, I'm hide the dogs, baby. Had to go get the cut too. That was one of those essentials that a young brother had been needing, baby, and now we back in the game, baby. Now we back in the game. And then Sunday, did some church, and then I've been really just able to handle and get everything straight at the house, really for the most part. And me and my kids, we hit the park. I got a lot of things in order as we come into another week. That's probably going to be, very busy and probably busy for y'all too. But I hope that it's a careful one, y'all, as we sit here on a Sunday and go into what's been going on in the week. Now, let me get this on out of the way. Let me see how a mother is balancing life and the pursuit of dreams. Let me see the pursuit of dreams, an interview with actress Breyonna Thomas by Ajay Tambe. And then there's the Literally Is No Pressure episode 154 with Peace. That episode, of course, you need to go there and support it. It will be down in the links below for the video. Now, let's talk about the story for the week, which is, let's go all the way back to the top. A reported from the Associated Press. President Macron says France will end his military presence and Niger pulls his ambassador at the coup. These are a lot of things that are happening in Africa so far over the last couple of years. This is by Angela Charleston and Dalatul Mame. Came out on the 24th, came out today. President Emmanuel Macron announced Sunday that France will end its military presence in Niger and pull its ambassador out of the country as a result of the coup that removed the democratically elected president. That democratically elected president is Mohamed Bazoum. This man here, ousted president currently over in Niger. Let's keep going. The junta that's going on, that's a military and political coup that rules a country after taking power by force. So just remember that they were stronger than the military because, of course, they've overthrown the president now. Imperialist and neo-colonialist forces are no longer welcome on our national territory. The new era of cooperation based on mutual respect and sovereignty is already underway, it said in a statement. The announcement was significant if expected blow to France's policy in Africa, with French troops having had to pull out of neighboring Mali and Burkina Faso, which we will speak of. Oh, let me pause that. Act like we never left. The announcement was significant. France has stationed thousands of troops in the Sahel region at the request of African leaders to fight Islamic extremist groups. So you got to remember that Africa still got ops too, and France could be some form of ally up to this point on certain fronts because they did put the troops out there because you got the extremist groups that are coming through wreaking havoc too. So it's like, yo, how can we gain a homie in this whole situation? I guarantee that was probably one of the reasons that they even set up shop in the first place. France has maintained some 1,500 troops in Niger since the July coup and had repeatedly refused an order by the new junta force ambassador to leave, saying that France didn't recognize the group as legitimate. But tensions have mounted in recent weeks between France and Niger, a former French colony, and Macron said recently that French diplomats were surviving on military rations held up in the embassy. So they out there starving, y'all. They need to get their time. Like, it's time for us to get up out of here here. If they don't want us here, then come on, y'all make a call. We told friends, y'all make a call and get us out of here. Macron's announcement came after the coup leader issued a statement earlier Sunday that they were closing Nigeria's airspace on French planes, commercial and military. So that was new, so that the new leadership could retake control of its skies and its territory. The decision did not apply to other international aircraft. They made sure to put that in there. Ali Sekou Ramadan, an aide to Nigeria's deposed president, said that Bazoum, the president, requested that Macron withdrew the French embassy, said in order to reduce tension. An interview with France 2 and TF1 television networks, Macron said he spoke to Bazoum, which is the ousted president, on Sunday and told him that France had decided to bring back his ambassador. And in coming hours, our ambassador and several diplomats will return to France too. So after everything that's going on, they probably called him and said, hey, bro, you done lost control. They saying this and that. These are the moves that we're going to make to protect our people. Where at first we had your back, but now we got to make calls to protect our people. He added that we will put an end to our military cooperation with Nigerian authorities because they don't want to fight for terrorism anymore. You see the little tricky words they throw in there? Hey, they don't want to fight for terrorism no more, so we're pulling out of there. So whatever happens, happens. If they come through killing babies, raping, R-word and women and all that, we didn't have nothing to do with it because they decided that they didn't want to fight against terrorism no more, and they let this coup take over. That's probably the role that they're going to say when they go over the reports, when we talk about everything that goes down over the next coming months and the next year in Nigeria with France pulling out. All right. He said France's military presence was in response to a request from Nigeria's government at the time. Though, remember that. The military cooperation between France and Nigeria had been suspended since the coup, however. The junta leaders claimed Bazoum's government wasn't doing enough to protect the country against the insurgency. The junta is now under sanction by Western and regional African powers. So certain other countries that are ousting them and putting them on the sidelines. And then you got people like the United States. You know how the United States go. You just ousted a democratically elected president. Hold on. We ain't putting no money in your pockets, no nothing until y'all get straight or y'all get out of power. But that's really probably how it's going to end up going. And the junta in August gave French ambassadors 48 hours to leave after the deadline expired without France recalling him. The coup leaders then revoked his democratic immunity that goes for the president. In New York, on Friday, the military government that seized power in Niger accused UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres of obstructing the West African nation's full participation at the UN's annual meeting of world leaders in order to appease France and its allies. So it's like y'all railroaded us, threw us to the side because y'all wanted to appease France. Experts said after military intervention in its former colonies in recent decades, the era of France as Africa's gendarmerie may finally be over as the continent's priorities shift. So at this time, you can kindly say that it's probably over for France's occupation over in Nigeria. But I wanted to be sure that I did point out, I said they mentioned Mali here and how Mali was doing since the juntas and things like that. And they said, yo, we want these foreign leaders and nations out of our country. We're going to run it. All right, we do that. So Mali, this is like, I guess, going on a year after this happened, the troops pulled out of Mali. Mali's junta struggles to fight growing violence in a northern region as UN peacekeepers withdraw. Let's just read a couple of lines from it. This was back in September 22nd of this year. Attacks in northern Mali have more than doubled since the UN peacekeepers completed the first phase of their withdrawal last month after a decade of fighting Islamic extremists, aka terrorism, resulting in more than 150 deaths. So y'all let me know what y'all thoughts on the story for this week. I wanted to just read that part because at the same time that the nations want to take over the regions, what is the plan? What does y'all truly have a plan for? Because here is Mali, where they pulled out, and now it's like, yo, there's a struggle to keep the peace, and y'all ask more troops pull out. So let's just take that into account, and then they're going to, like I said, put it under. We were trying to help terrorism, and they decided they didn't want to fight terrorism no more. What did they say here? After a decade of fighting Islamic extremists. It's the N.y.a show. Let me know your thoughts on this story. Should France be speaking with true people in the region and getting down to the nitty gritty and staying there and actually trying to put together a new union that's going to actually work in their benefit? Or should they completely pull out like they say they're going to do? And then we see how Niger runs going forward. Things may go on the up, things may go low, but we will not know until we actually let some time go by. It's the N.y.a show. I appreciate y'all as always, and I'll see you next time.